Today I've built this modular space base using the Quantum Astral Premium cosmetic in ARK Survival Ascended, and as you can see, it definitely captures that space vibe. So this base consists out of different parts, obviously, and the idea behind this is that you can build it as a modular base. So you can start with one of the smaller buildings as your early game base, and then slowly as you progress you can expand, maybe with a little greenhouse to grow some crops, or a bigger main base that has a dino pen at the bottom, as well as more room for proper crafting and storage, and of course your personal bedroom upstairs, even space for a tribe tower on top, and also equipped with a nice landing platform to the side. Those builds are all connected, and then besides that I've also built a breeding hangar next to it in the same style, just if you needed more space for your proper breeding projects, so that you could do that both on the inside but as well as on the top of the building, just in case, you know, you're going a little bit crazy with those breeding lines. Again, it's all designed using the Quantum Astral Premium cosmetic, but you could definitely also build this just with, you know, normal tech and metal, or maybe even some other cosmetics if you don't have this one. But it's definitely a really good option. It has some amazing looking skins for not only your walls, it's got different types. You can even transform your world in such a way that it looks like you're in outer space, but especially all the cosmetics for the utilities like the tribe tower, the forges, etc. are really nice additions to transform your ARK in something very different. As always, if you enjoy seeing these builds and you want to continue to see more, make sure to like the video and of course subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it if you do. And feel free to let me know down in the comments below what kind of builds you'd like to see next, and if you'd like to see the tutorial for all of the builds here. And if you already want to get a head start on that, I actually already have a tutorial for the smaller starter base sized building, so you could already go ahead and build that and then wait for the modular tutorial to come out so you can build the rest of the base. Hello there, survivors, and here we are at my modular space base here on Valguero. And if you're wondering where I built this, it's right next to the blue obelisk, but just in case you can't find that, it's located right over here on the map. It's actually a pretty nice area because there is a bunch of flat space here to build, which makes it really convenient for, you know, bigger projects like this, where you can even have multiple buildings without running into, you know, some annoying landscape getting in your way. And as you can see, this is the modular base. So as I said in the intro, it is consistent out of different parts. We've got like the first building here, which is kind of designed as your earlier game base, your like outpost or whatever you want to use it for. And from there you can actually go and expand. So for example, you can build the tunnel, and then this is a greenhouse. So this is completely built out of greenhouse glass, and that's a nice little addition, so you can do all your growing of crops, but also of course now hatching of your elder claws. And then we've got the main space base station in the middle with actually a dino pen down below, and of course more room for your crafting and storage up here, as well as a spot for the tribe tower up there so that you can get those benefits too. And then over here we have a nice landing pad platform that we can use to park or fly us safely whilst you go in and out of your base. And that's not all, that is the modular base part, but I've also built a space hangar here used for breeding, so you'll have a decent amount of space in here to do all sorts of different breeding projects. Definitely let me know if you want to see a tutorial for all of these. I probably will be making them soon, so keep an eye out on the channel if they're not up already. So we're right over here, and let's take a closer look at all of the buildings. First of all, I'm very happy with the way these all came out. The astral skins look very, very nice. There's a lot of variety in there. There's loads more skins even than the ones that I've used. You can turn the whole room into space if you wanted to, but especially the utilities, as I said, I really enjoyed. So let's start right over here and let's go inside. This is also designed with the idea of being a little bit more of the early game base, so something you would build first before you expand. Of course, If you want to use tech, that's probably an upgrade you have to make later on. You could of course use normal doors first, but here we go. We have a simpler base with mostly early game storage. We have some nice benches here as well that actually look really cool. Some cool tables too, some forges around, and well, just a bunch of little things all the way around to decorate this base with. A little bedroom over here too, nice and cozy, and yeah, just an easy place to start with. But then, as I said, we have connected the other parts to it. So we have this hallway here leading into the greenhouse, which is made out of greenhouse glass, of course, to get your full effectiveness. And you can see all the plants are growing. Unfortunately, of course, they will have the snow effect because I decided to go and build in the snow. But yeah, you can see all of the crops nicely growing. I actually quite like the crop plot skin that it offers. The astral skins are very nice on that, and yeah, as you can see, you can have a decent amount of room. Of course, you could lay out the whole greenhouse differently if you wanted to, but yeah, it's another nice little setup. And then you have another entrance to get in and out of the base too, should you need it. Easy way to get around. But then we of course can go back to the start, and from the start we also have the connection to the main base part. So we can go in here. We have the elevator to go up and down into the rest of the base, but more importantly, we also have a dino pen. And as you can see, it's actually not fully foundations, just to save on a little bit of structure. So we have the outer circle being foundationed, and then the inner circle that gives enough support for the entire base above. And you can see by these rexes that there's a decent amount of size inside, so you could still have some creatures in here. You could do some of your breeding projects, and because we have the foundations here, you still have some space to place down structures that you might need in your breeding efforts. We have this in the middle where we can have the feeding trough so that everything can easily reach it too, so you don't really have to worry about all that. And yeah, you get this really nice little build, in my opinion. I quite like the way that turned out. And of course we have all these gateways to the sides, actually the hangar doors, which is quite nice. Means that you can easily get in and out of the base on all different sides, no matter which way you're facing or what creature you're using. And technically I think a Giga or Card car could fit in here, but they would, especially with the saddle, probably reach through the ceiling, and they might stick out a little bit with the tails. But other than that, you can definitely do a bunch of breeding in here. Then we have the elevator to get up, or what you can also do, and what I really like doing, is having a teleporter connect up with a default teleport destination to inside your base. Because if you don't know, what you can do then is just press R, and it will teleport you to the default destination. And if you set that up both ways, it's a really easy way to get around your base quite quickly. And you can actually use that as kind of a, well, a more sophisticated teleportation or elevator system, because elevators take quite a long time, of course, and this is way faster. We got a cozy kitchen here, complete with like a little table and chairs. We got the cooker, the water tanks, the grill, and even the fridge over here. We have, of course, the teleporter to get in. We actually have a medium teleporter here in the middle. If you want to bring in some bigger tames, maybe to unload them, you can do that all from here. We also have some ladder access to the roof, should you want to maybe park some flyers up here, or, you know, just utilize it in any way. But also because you can then reach the tribe tower that we've placed up here, which is quite a cool skin. And of course, you'll need to power that to make sure that you don't lose the benefits. We also have a transmitter up here, which is this antenna, which is quite a cool addition in my opinion. So yeah, you might also want to reach that if you want to transfer, or, you know, stuff like that. Then on the inside of the base, we have, of course, a bunch of room. We have the sleeping tech pods here, which have this really cool looking skin to them. And then we have a bunch of vaults. You can see both variations here. This is actually just the wall with the furniture skin on it to get these really cool screens. We have all of the utilities here. So vaults, we have the fabricator here. This is actually the shield generator, which definitely is also a cool little decorative piece. We have the forge, the grinder, the replicator, more storage here. We have the chem bench, the smithy, all have such cool skins, and we got another grinder, another forge here, and again a chem bench as well. Like, I really love all the skins. They really have some amazing textures to them. This is a tech generator here, and yeah, you can see it really transforms your base into a very space station feeling build, which is definitely quite cool. Of course, Daddy's here as the sorting system, and yeah, should offer you a decent amount of space to use. But then over here, of course, this is where we have the flying platform. We actually have this little bit, which would be perfect for like RGs or pterodons, stuff like that, little smaller creatures that you want to park right outside the door. But then your bigger creatures like quetzals, but also the wyverns, etc., of course, you can easily park on this platform, and that should keep them safe. And especially if you add some turrets around, it will definitely be very safe to park your flyers there. And I think it just also really fits the entire vibe of a space station to have something like that. It kind of is like the launching platform for maybe the rocket or the spaceship, whatever you would have. But yeah, that is the modular space base part. So that's all modular. You could connect that up, and of course, if you wanted to, you could add more of these smaller modules. If maybe you're, you know, your bigger tribe, you could just connect more of these to each other until your heart is content with everything you need, which I think could make for a really cool thing. And you could even add, of course, multiple of these if you wanted to. Like, you could add another going in that direction or connect it to the greenhouse in some way. Like, that is the nice thing about this being a modular design. It's quite easy to adapt and to attach to the existing build and kind of combine this in any which way you think works best for your play style. But then, of course, we also have the breeding hangar here. So it's a relatively simple design, but definitely also showcasing these beautiful astral skins in a nice way with big windows. We have the lighter skins and the darker skins here as well. I've also painted a bunch. That's all the blue lines that you see throughout the entire build. That's painted the white structures to make them look slightly different. We got some nice cellar doors here to drop some tames in. A little bit of a skylight going on. And yeah, quite like the way the contrast works on that build in particular. But it is also, of course, designed to be doing a bunch of breeding on the inside. So yeah, we have this big entrance with two hangar doors next to each other. Now, normally they would kind of open separately. They still do, but because of the way that these astral skins work, you don't actually notice it that badly. So you can kind of just enjoy the entrance to your base quite easily. And you've got this really cool fading effect with the entrance, which is very cool. And on the inside, you can see we have a decent amount of space. Now, there's definitely also room here to maybe add in extra layers if you want to, you know, park some tames higher up for your breeding lines, whatever you want to do. I kind of kept the design very open on the inside, so it's very easy to adjust to your own preferences and your own needs. And it's basically just a nice looking building where you have a bunch of space to utilize in whatever way you see fit. We have the middle here with our little raptor pack, the generator, as well as the feeding trough. We got some parasaurs here, some stegos lined up at the side. We got another quets over here. These sides, of course, you could use to hatch your creatures. We have the gene storage. We have an egg incubator, some cryo fridges. Yeah, you have a lot of space here, obviously, to do your breeding projects. And yeah, quite a cool looking base with these very clean, futuristic, space looking astral cosmetics. And then again, we're kind of repeating the same layout on this side. But yeah, you can see with these Rexes, there is definitely a bunch of space in here to utilize. So hopefully will serve you well for your breeding projects. So we have the big entrance at the front, we have the cellar doors at the top, and we even have a normal gateway here at the back. So plenty of easy ways to get in and out of the base. And as you can see, the top is mostly flat, so if you wanted to, you could even have some breeding projects going on the top of the base without too many issues. So if you're running out of space, there's always that extra option right on top of it. But altogether, they make for a really cool space-themed base, I think, and yeah, quite a practical little layout to offer you pretty much everything that you would need on your ARK adventures. So yeah, hopefully you like the build as well. Again, using the Astral cosmetics, really liked working with those, and yeah, I hope you like the build too. Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, as always, if you have suggestions for future builds you'd really like to see, let me know down in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I really hope to see you again in the next video or the next stream. For now, goodbye.